And welcome to the Tim Show. I'm your co-host, Luke Dodd, and today we're going to talk about free agency in football. It has been very crazy over the past few days. Um, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, we got a lot of moves going on here. I mean, we're not actually in free agency yet, but a lot of, I guess, verbal agreements. You can't legally, I guess, sign the I don't know the full thing, but we're not technically into free agency, but we're in free agency. We're in free agency where we're also not in free agency, if that makes sense. You guys, yeah. But we got a lot of things going on. March is filled with sports, as you guys know. March Madness. We got baseball starting up. We have what is it called? I mean, softball. I don't know how. If you guys want to report softball scores and stuff for MTSU, Vanderbilt. Does Vanderbilt have a softball team?
All right.
Luke, thanks. Tennessee softball. I don't know. Basketball. March Madness. I'm stupid. What else is going on? Goodness, hockey's going on. A lot of things are going on. March is really sports mania going on. We should report MTSU's hockey as well. We probably should have thought about that before. We'll do that in the next one. But if you guys have a sport you guys really want us to talk about, we will update you guys, even though you guys could look it up on your own. It's more fun for us. But yeah, Predators play the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow. Predators record is 37-25-4. And if you guys are wondering, we do record these about 2 days before or either a week in advance, depending on what all goes on and what if we can make the next day, next week, or whatnot. So obviously the Jets have now already played the Preds whenever this comes out. Do we know if they win or not? We don't know yet. MTSU basketball plays Louisiana Tech in the Conference USA tournament. MTSU basketball is 13-8 overall and 79 in Conference USA. MTSU baseball is playing Southern Indiana today, March 12th. MTSU baseball is 8-7. MTSU's women's basketball is ranked number 1. We get a little hand clap for MTSU's women's basketball. Undefeated season. They'll play tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. They finished the regular season undefeated at 16-0, number 1 in Conference USA, and now they're trying to get that Conference USA tournament championship. Vanderbilt will play Indiana today, March 12th. They are 14-3. Tennessee basketball plays March 15th. The opponent is to be determined. They're currently ranked number 1 in the SEC and finished regular season SEC champions with a 24-7 record and a 14-4 conference record in the SEC. Tennessee's women's basketball, Lady Vols, lost to South Carolina on March 9th, 74-73, and will be in March Madness women's tournament. They finished the regular season 19-12 overall and 10-6 in SEC conference. So Tennessee making big moves in the sports. I guess MTSU's basketball hasn't been the greatest this year, but MTSU's women's basketball has been amazing. Has been absolutely amazing. That is your score updates or score past, I guess, updates, whatever you guys want to call it. So as you guys know, a lot of free agency moves. There's got to be over like 100. I bet. From what I was looking at, I mean, I took all these and I guess I copy pasted it onto our little, I guess, script for all the names we've gotten on here. And you guys can actually find that script. I mean, not the full thing, but a little glimpse of it on our Instagram, the Champ Pod. Go check it out and go check out our YouTube as well. They actually get uploaded to the YouTube as well. If you guys want, I guess, a video. I don't know if we're going to be doing videos just yet, like live things. Not fully sure how we're doing all that yet. We haven't really progressed into that. We don't really have a studio. But getting off topic of that, the Cowboys free agency has been booming, people. Big moves in Cowboys free agency. Just kidding. They re-signed D lineman Carl Davis Jr. Don't even know. 1 year to be determined on his contract just yet. And this is the move of the lifetime. You ready for this one, Luke? The Cowboys have re-signed Trent Sieg. That's right. Long snapper. We got him back, baby. That is the biggest signing. Now, obviously, the Cowboys, guys, for anyone that doesn't, I guess, watch football, long snapper is like, I mean, it's a pretty important position if you don't want bad snaps on punts, and I think it's on kicks too. Might be on kicks. I'm not fully sure. Might be the center who's doing that. Long snappers are important. Josh, if you're listening to this, we love you. Thanks for coming on the show. Go check out that podcast. I don't know which episode number that is. It might be like 5 or 6. I think it might be 6. Go check it out. Josh Curry, Tusculum Pioneer, long snapper. Go check it out, guys. But not a lot of big moves now. Are the Cowboys waiting to make a big move? A lot of moves. Now, my thing is, why would you wait to make a huge move when all these players are getting taken off the boards, whatnot? I don't know why you don't make a move, but that's why we're not coaching. It's like that one commentator thing from Madden where I think it's like Charles. He's like, "That's why we're not coaching." That's where I've heard that from. Luke, do you have any players that you think the Cowboys should go after in free agency at all?
As of right now, no.
Well, one thing that came to my mind, one player that came to my mind, which I guess technically rival defensive end. So we have DeMarcus Lawrence on one side. I don't know who our other end is. I'm technically it's Micah Parsons because he plays on the D line and the edge and the linebacker position, which I don't know how long we're gonna keep him, dude. I don't know. I mean, we have to put up some playoff wins for that man to stay. So that's a whole nother thing. I'll be so sad whenever Micah Parsons leave. It's gonna happen eventually. Maybe maybe it doesn't. Maybe we going on winning streak. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get a lot of stuff at tutorial after this from a lot of Cowboys fans. But I think one player that comes to my mind is Chase Young. Imagine Chase Young on, I don't know what our salary cap is, whatnot, but all I'm saying is if you could go out and get Chase Young on the other side of Marcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons on the other side, and you're already set on the DBs. I mean, you have Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, who obviously was hurt last year, which I don't know how much that's going to affect him. We'll have to see. I mean, it could affect him pretty big. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, but I feel like we would have one of the most stone cold defenses. And you have, who else is it? Mozzie Smith, who I don't know how well he did last year. I wasn't really happy with that pick. Very weird pick for the Cowboys to grab. A lot of Cowboys fans were not happy with that. I don't know. I wasn't. I was expecting him to go after Bijan, but obviously that didn't happen. Speaking of running backs, I mean, was he traded or was he did he just sign? It might have been he might have been, I don't think he was traded. Tony Pollard is now a Tennessee Titan. And that means Derrick Henry is no longer a Titan as well. And we actually found out this morning, Luke, what team is Derrick Henry now a part of?
The Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens. Oh no. I don't know if you guys just heard that. We just got an ESPN notification. I have not looked at it. Or this is literally live on the air. What did we get? Oh my goodness! Breaking news! Steelers are trading wide receiver Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers. Wow. Dude, that is an unreal move. I mean, not the biggest, but goodness. At that point, dude, they're trying to get Bryce Young some help, is what it sounds like. They are trying to get Bryce Young some help. Now, we do not know the full extent of those, what has gone into the trade for Deontay Johnson. I think he's like 24, 25. But wow, the Panthers now have, gosh, what's the other guy they got? Jonathan Mingo? Jonathan Mingo. So you have a wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. A little bit of a mentor, Deontay Johnson. Very, very, I guess, above average player. He's not elite, but definitely a good move for the Panthers. Now, what did they get out of that? I don't know. Next thing we know, Bryce Young is now a Steeler. Well, I don't know how you're helping out Russell Wilson, who also is now a Steeler. A lot of moves, a lot of our childhood is getting ripped apart here in 2 seconds. Every single ESPN notification, I'm like, who did I just lose from my favorite team? Oh no! Oh no! There's another ESPN notification. Okay, what is it? Ah! I'm sorry for everyone's eardrum size kill. Eagles are signing defensive back C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a 3-year deal worth up to $33 million. He was a Detroit Lion. Oh my goodness, dude. I'm telling you guys, NFC East and AFC South is about to be like I think they can honestly rule the league. I think the NFC East could possibly be the best team in the East these upcoming years, maybe like 5-10 years down the line when all these players progress and they get to their top level, they're all peaking. I mean, the AFC South, I mean, they're loaded at quarterback positions. You got CJ Stroud, who's a beast. Trevor Lawrence, who's a beast. You have Will Levis, maybe a beast. Who else? Colts. Anthony Richardson, AR-15. We don't know if he's a beast, but he might be a beast. A lot of beasts on this team. A lot of things are gonna change up here soon, and we're not even into free agency yet. But obviously, all verbal agreements. I'm not sure if they like sign it or we're not. We don't know. Okay, we don't know. We are literally in my room, so we're not in like some big studio, unlike all these people that we're watching on Twitch right now, getting our news from as well. Tony Pollard, Luke. I mean, on the Titans, or we were talking about Derrick Henry. Luke, what do you think about the Derrick Henry? What are you feeling right now? Luke's more of a Titans fan than me, but Luke, what are you feeling right now with Derrick Henry?
It was a pretty good move. I mean, I wouldn't think Tony Pollard would be as good as Henry, but still, I mean, Henry wasn't this good this year as he was the past few.
Yeah, a lot of that has been blamed to the O lineman. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's age." I mean, the dude can still play, and I think he honestly could finish out his career on the rival of the Titans, the Ravens. Luke, when did you hear that he signed with the Ravens?
This morning,
This morning. What were you doing, Luke?
uh, eating breakfast.
Eating breakfast. Well, that's a way to start off your day. Your franchise player is now gone. I mean, technically he was already off the roster, but a lot of people are still holding out hope. But once you heard Tony Pollard was coming, Luke, did you kind of think that it was over?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, well, you can't have 3 running backs on the position unless this guy was a backup. But at that point, you're not developing Tajay Spears at all, which I think Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard are actually going to be one of the best running back groups in the league. If Tony Pollard pans out, if he doesn't get injured, I think he broke his foot or ankle. Yeah, I think something like that. I think last year, not this year, not 2024. In 2023, he injured himself. Technically 2022, I guess. I'm not sure. Depends on when in the year. I think it was technically 2022 then. But he's coming off an injury. I guess technically coming off an injury. But I think I saw something on it might have been on 104.5 The Zone. I think Buck Rising said he heard from Tony Pollard, some source that he at the end of the year, like I think trade deadline around that time, he was fine. It was behind him. So that should not be a concern for the Titans at all. Ryan Tannehill is still a free agent. Will Levis is on the Titans. He is their quarterback 1, is what it looks like. Now, they're trying to develop him, trying to get him going. Brian Callahan has made a lot of moves here in free agency. A lot of really good moves. Once again, one of the best moves. 1 year, $1.3 million. They have signed long snapper Morgan Cox. Wow, that is a move and a half, Luke. What do you think about that move?
He's good.
He's good. He can snap the ball. Now, obviously, Tony Pollard signed with the Titans. 3 years, $24 million. A little bit more than a long snapper. Now, this move is honestly one of the most underestimated moves I've seen. And the Titans really are getting a good center here. Lloyd Cushenberry is now on the Tennessee Titans for 4 years. I mean, it's not technically, he could leave. He could pull Russell Wilson. That was an $85 million cap hit, by the way. If you guys have seen that episode, it's probably our last episode that we put out. So go check that out as well, guys. $50 million. I think the Titans had like $130 million, I think. It might be $160 million. So they have a lot of money to move around. And they also signed Chidobe Awuzie, cornerback. I think he was on the, who was he on, Luke? Was he on the Bucks? I feel like I remember him being on the Bucks.
The Broncos.
On the Broncos is what Luke said. Wait, Lloyd Cushenberry or
Lloyd Cushenberry.
Yeah, Lloyd Cushenberry was on the Broncos.
Chidobe Awuzie was, I want to say Browns, but it could be no. Yeah, it was the Browns.
All right, on the Browns. Luke knows his stuff, or maybe not. Lloyd Cushenberry is actually. I think I saw our center, Luke. Who was the Titans center last year? Was it
And
Aaron Brewer?
yeah,
Aaron Brewer was put up like the most. He's 27th most like QB pressures. So out of 32, so he's on the lower end. That's not the best. Or his least amount of QB pressures, he was 27th. And there's 30 teams in the league. 30 teams. I almost said 32. 30, right? Is it 30? I don't know. We don't know, folks. Is it? I don't know. We don't. Is it 32? Luke's
I think
calculating.
it's 32.
We think it's 32. We could be wrong. Lloyd Cushenberry is number 3 on that list. I think is what I've heard. Yeah. So a lot of good signings here. That's not it though. Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be really good for that center position. Now at that point, what's Pierce Gronsky? They're gonna. I mean, at this point, do you grow and grab an O lineman in the draft still, Luke? So you have Pierce Gronsky, who is he playing tackle or guard for them? I think he was he might have been a guard, and they moved him to tackle. I think he plays left tackle. So, and that right side is not the best. Now you can do a little bit with that left. Now you're probably gonna go grab some mediocre players, I would think, or maybe they do go out and sign. Ooh, what about Tyron Smith? Dude, he's still on the market. Tyron Smith is still on the market, I think. That's the Cowboys. I mean, obviously you're not gonna have him for like four years like Lloyd Cushenberry, but at least that's a little bit of a place filler until you can go out and get maybe some better O linemen. Now this O lineman draft is pretty stacked. Joe Alt, what's Oshu? I don't Nami something Olu Fashanu. I think some Olu. I think I'm probably getting this butchered. I think he's on Penn State. He might be better than what's his name, but that would be a really good guy to go out and get for sure in the draft. I mean, this Titans O line, I think he could get rebuilt. A lot of people were expecting, oh, this is going to take like a 5-year, 6-year rebuild, which it could. Now, the O line, you can definitely, I mean, the amount of moves that they've already made has been insane. And they got a linebacker from the Chargers. I don't know if he was traded or they signed him. Kenneth Murray Jr., obviously a very good player, very talented. 2 years, $15.5 million, which I think they got him for a decent, a little bit on the cheap end, I would say, personally. I think that would be a big, I think it's a big move for the Titans to get a linebacker. And maybe that's the guy on your defense that you're like, oh shoot, we better watch out for that guy. So I think that's a really good move for them for sure to take Kenneth Murray as well. And I forgot we had somebody, Jordan Poyer was just signed a little bit ago to what was it, the Texans? It might have been for the Texans. No, Jordan Poyer is now a Dolphin. I don't know the contract money, whatnot, how many years, but all I know is he is now a Miami Dolphin. Christian Wilkins went to the, I'm about to say Oakland Raiders. The Raiders. So that's a big, big move. Kenny Moore resigns with the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to read off a little bit of these as well. Ronald Darby signs with Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 years, $8.5 million. Big moves. Russ Wilson's a Pittsburgh Steeler for one? I think it's 1 year. Maybe it's 2 years. It might be 3 years. I don't even know. He is now their quarterback, and he's going to serve as, I think, a little bit of a placeholder for not Jimmy G, Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett could be on the move, though. So that could be something. What if, like, well, I think they got a new GM, and he said that, like, he really likes Kenny Pickett, I think is what I heard. But, I mean, you want to get Russell Wilson. Maybe that's like, hey, we got a guy on the roster that we're going to kind of mentor you. Because, I mean, whenever Russell Wilson was at his peak of his career, he really was balling out other than Super Bowl, whatever it was. That was just not good. Geno Stone signs with the Cincinnati Bengals. Xavier McKinney signs with the Green Bay Packers. A big, 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 big move for them. Taylor Rapp signs with the Buffalo Bills. Kevin Byard, Tennessee Titan, former Tennessee Titan, went to the Eagles on that trade. Kevin Byard goes out and signs with the Chicago Bears for 2 years, $15 million. So that's a huge, huge move for the Bears. That's going to really boost up their safeties. Have they made a lot more? I feel like they haven't made as many moves, but I could be wrong. Oh, the Texans. I've not seen this yet. Sign former Titan Aziz Al-Shair. Houston Texans sign him for 3 years, $34 million. That is a big, 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 big move, baby. Patrick Queen signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers for $41 million for 3 years. Frankie Louvu signs with the Commanders 3 years, $31 million as well. Klein Farrell signs with the Washington Commanders. Any big Aaron Jones signs with the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know how many years, what all that is. Brandon Graham resigns with the Philadelphia Eagles for another year. Dude is old. Old. This could be his final ride, and that might be like, hey, I'm trying to get a ring. I'm trying to go out on a ring kind of thing. So we'll see what all that goes with. Andrew Van Ginkel signs with the Minnesota Vikings for 2 years, $20 million. Josh Jacobs goes to the Packers. So I don't know if they still have A.J. Dillon or not, but A.J. Dillon and Josh Jacobs, that's going to be really big for them as well. I think the Packers could be a very deadly team here in these upcoming years. I think they're like the youngest team in the league, or maybe might have been the playoffs. Like, I don't think, actually, I think I saw something like they don't have a player over like 27 or something. That could be completely wrong as well. We once again, we are not completely accurate on everything we say. So we are not your ESPN. We are your 15-year-old reporters. So we don't have everything, guys. Who else? What's it? Oh gosh, DeAndre Swift signs with the Bears. Am I correct on that? Yeah, DeAndre Swift went from the Lions to the Eagles to the Bears.
I thought it was the Eagles.
No, DeAndre Swift signs with the Bears. I know who you're thinking though, and I was like, oh, he might mention it. You know what I'm talking about? Who signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, Luke?
I don't know.
Okay, Luke does. Luke does not know. Luke, all right, I'm gonna mouth it to you. What is it?
Yeah.
Who is it, Luke?
The Giants running back. So apparently his name is Saquon Barkley.
Apparently his name is Saquon Barkley. Like one of the best running backs in the league. A lot of injuries have held him up. We'll see what happens with that. See, I thought as a Cowboys fan, I was like, thank goodness this man's gonna be out of the NFC East. It's gonna help us out a lot. But no, he's staying in the NFC East, and he's literally going to the rivals of his own team. And I actually saw something. And there might be a video on it. If we find the video, we'll play it. Tiki Barber said, it might be on Twitter. He might have posted something. He said, he's dead to me. So I'm like, brother, that might have been a little far. And then Lamar Jackson joined in on the fun, as he always does, with a lot of Twitter posts and whatnot. Who left him? Oh my goodness. I don't know who left him. Some Ravens player left and went to the Titans. I don't know. Some team left. Some player left. And what's his name? Lamar Jackson posted like he's dead to me with like a laughing emoji. Or might not have been a laughing. No, I think it was 2 exclamation points with like the red exclamation point. Yeah. A lot of emojis will definitely factor in how someone's actually talking, is what I've learned for sure. Leonard Floyd signs with the San Francisco 49ers, $20 million for 2 years. Jonathan Greenard sounds with the Minnesota Vikings. Is that correct? Jonathan Greenard. I've lost it. Oh no. Yes, 4 years, $76 million. Holy cow. That is a big money. Big money right there is what I'll say. Louis Cushenberry. Aaron Brewer. I just saw Aaron Brewer on this. Where is it? Aaron Brewer signs with Miami for 3 years, $21 million. I feel like he was on them for some reason. I feel like he was on their team almost. I'm not fully sure. Hunter Henry resigns with the New England Patriots. Oh, yeah. Mac Jones is now a Jacksonville Jaguar. So, literally, what year did Trevor Lawrence get drafted, Luke? Do you know? 2020 or 2021? They're both first-round picks, okay? And now they're both on the same team. So absolutely insane. Obviously, Mac Jones is going to be the backup. Now, I don't know what all. I feel like it's kind of weird to put two, not rookies, but same draft year players on the same team. Like, you can't really mentor. I mean, obviously, one player is better, whatnot. Devin Duvernay signs with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 2 years, $8.5 million. So a little bit of movement on the. He's a wide receiver, right? Devin Duvernay.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick Bourne signs with the New England Patriots, 3 years, $19.5 million. Oh, and they got a little bit more on the wide receiver. Gabe Davis, very familiar name, signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, $39 million. And I actually saw this morning as well. Darnell Mooney signs with the Atlanta Falcons, 3 years, also $39 million. Mike Evans re-signed with the Bucks. We might have said that last episode. I don't know. Signs with the Bucks. Michael Pittman Jr. I think he might have got tagged, but I think he might have worked out a contract as well. Michael Pittman signs with the Indianapolis Colts. Resigns 3 years, $70 million. He definitely deserves that money. We went and saw him. Luke and me actually went to the same game. We just didn't sit together. Went to watch my first ever NFL game, Titans versus Colts, and Michael Pittman was put on a show for sure. T. Higgins was franchise tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals for 1 year, $21.8 million. And actually, this morning, I think I saw T. Higgins requested a trade. So, I mean, I guess that's what you're supposed to do. So, I mean, he's probably going to be gone around the trade deadline. He's definitely going to be one of those names that you're looking out for to see where he goes. And he could be one of those guys that we see go to the Titans, I think, possibly. I don't know where else he go. I think he's the guy who said, I mean, Tyler Boyd who said he's been a Titans fan all his life, whatnot. So we don't know. I think he'll probably go to the Titans, whatnot. I think it'd be a good move. Oh yeah, Tyrod Taylor signs with the New York Jets, not the Giants. Drew Lock signs with the New York Giants. So 2 New York signings, and Sam Darnold from the 2017, 2016, 2015, one of those drafts, signs with the Minnesota Vikings for 1 year, to be determined. Gardner Minshew is now a Las Vegas Raider as well. Baker Mayfield re-signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a huge contract. 3 years, $100 million. He's getting paid. And I'll be honest, I feel like obviously Baker Mayfield had a good year last year. I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan unless he came on the podcast. At that point, he might be my favorite player. But I don't know, just kind of cocky to me. Jameis Winston signs with the Cleveland Browns, so he's going to be backing up Deshaun Watson, mentoring him, I guess, kind of a little bit. Jacoby Brissett signs with the New England Patriots. You might have already said that one. I'm not sure. Kirk Cousins signs with the Atlanta Falcons for 4 years, $180 million. Everyone kind of expected him to go there, or he's either going to be Russell Wilson on them. Kirk Cousins going to be a great player for the Atlanta Falcons. He is, I think he's like 32 or something like that. I'm not fully sure. Kirk Cousins obviously can still throw the ball a little bit, and he's got a few years left up in him. I think they're really going to use him as a mentor, maybe to Desmond Ridder, or maybe that's like, hey, we're kind of moving on from you, Desmond. We're going to get you out of here, buddy. Because he's now been on the team for 2 years? This will be a third year?
Something like that.
Yeah, because he was drafted in the same year as Malik Willis, which was like, we thought was one of the most loaded QB classes. And turns out like most of them have been busts from what I can remember. Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, who else? Oh gosh, who was it, man? Do you know, Luke? Luke just gave me the head nod. He does not know. Luke does not know. We're probably missing somebody completely obvious right now. But that's going to be really good moves for them. So that's kind of what we got for the episode today. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Champ Podcast. Go check out the Champ Pod on Instagram. If you guys are an athlete or you guys have an athlete that wants to come on the show, go have them hit us up. The Champ Pod on Instagram, or you get my number. My number is 123. Just kidding. But I will give you my number if you guys want it. If you guys on the what's it called? Instagram. If you guys are an athlete or you guys are any sports broadcasters, whatnot, we love to have you on the game, on the Champ. So definitely reach out to us. You guys can figure us out. You guys know how to get in touch with us. Trey Fluellen will be on the podcast next week on Thursday, or maybe it already has aired. I'm not sure. We're still figuring that out. Most likely next week. He is a Middle Tennessee State University safety. He's actually going to be in the draft next year, so I'm going to be really excited to see where he goes. Like, I'm actually going to be really excited. We actually have already recorded it, but once again, we're putting out an episode every week, once a week, every Thursday at 6 a.m. We might change that time, but we're kind of keeping 6 a.m. Once again, go check out the Champ Podcast. Luke, any final words?
Peace.
Peace out. We the champs. Woo!